Hey there, how's it going? Well, I had made a video response to Pyrrho's video response to me, but I had something to drink and I just didn't like how the video turned out. I mean, his video was a drunk video as well. I don't drink very often, but I just didn't like how it turned out. There was too much blabbering as far as I'm concerned. So here's a more proper response. Anyway, I just wanted to say real quick that the same social force that got Anita Sarkeesian popular, which is outrage culture.
Okay, what I remember getting Anita Sarkeesian popular was people like Thunderfoot and Sargon talking about her all the time.
Yes, Sargon and Thunderfoot and hundreds of others like them. Yes. You know what it's called? It's called the Streisand effect. I'd heard that term before, but I wasn't sure whether it completely applied to this, but it does, after looking more into it. It's called the Streisand effect. I would have thought you would have known about this immediately, but you never addressed that at all.
For a couple of years. Everything she did. I mean, now, I could be wrong, but you see, I was subscribed to Thunderfoot and Sargon and various other of these people that were becoming the the Gamergate, alt-right, alt-light, whatever you want to call them.
I'm not trying to be picky here, but you're equating Gamergate with alt-right? They're kind of different things. You, Mr. Scientific guy, you're equating these things all together. Now, I mean, you could say, well, they're all undesirables, but it's just strange for you to put them all under the same umbrella, to me, but whatever.
And that's the only... I've got the hiccups. That's the only reason I heard of Anita. So as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty solid. Now, I know it's anecdotal. It's my personal experience. But what made Anita known to me was her being covered constantly by those that think, look, she's so ludicrous, I will make her famous by talking about her. And as I always said, I thought she was pretty mediocre. As an intellectual or a feminist intellectual or a feminist academic or whatever you want to call that, it was like, these are pretty low-watt insights. But these idiots that fought her made it seem like it was more important. Like, I would have thought things that Anita had to point out were of, nobody hadn't heard them already. And then people like Thunderfoot, Mr. Scientist, well, I don't understand these points. Video games have tropes that are patriarchal. Yeah, from fairy tales. I don't think that was even controversial until people were fighting her. Like, she was saying things that are like, duh. We already know that video games draw from, popular mythology, and that's, the princess is captured in the castle. I mean, obviously, why? Because it's an easy trope to build a game around, a premise. It wasn't like a big mystery.
My argument has nothing to do with the validity of the things that Anita said. Okay, it's not about the validity, it's about what made her popular. And what made her popular, or you could say infamous, but what made her popular were all the people talking about her. That was my point. And you seem to agree with that point, and yet you pretend that you disagree with me on this. That same force that made her popular is the same force that's making white nationalists, fascists, white supremacists popular.
Okay, first of all, they're not really popular, but to that degree that they are popular, yeah, I agree. I think Thunderfoot and Sargon are also making them popular. But so what?
So you don't think they're popular, but then you don't care if they're popular. But you care if white nationalists are popular. But they're not popular. But Sargon and Thunderfoot and people like them may have made people like Anita popular, and so what? You're failing to see what I'm trying to say. You're not. It's like you're not even making an attempt to look at the point I'm trying to make. And you go on and on. I just skipped out a huge section of you going on and on about video games as if that was what I was talking about. And this is why I don't like doing response videos to you, because you refuse to make precise, concise responses. It'll just go on and on. Your video is a half hour long. It's frustrating. I know you're capable of making precise, edited videos. I know you're capable of doing it. Maybe your audience really does like these long, drawn-out things. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. That's why I don't watch a lot of your videos, because they're always, always, always a stream. What is your obsession with the fucking stream, man? Why?
Are you saying they are not allowed to be popular? The people that aren't fascists are making fascists popular. Really, I think it's the people that like fascists.
Seriously, man, stop being a dunce. That argumentation is so stupid. It's this basically the same argument that a number of pro-Antifa people say, where it's basically, well, if you're against Antifa, then you're pro-fascist. It's bullshit, man. It's a bullshit argument. It's crap. Sorry, man, that's crap.
Right. By definition, the people that are into something are what's making it popular.
Look, man, the Streisand effect is real. Okay? And the way that Antifa are acting, which you don't even seem to want to acknowledge that Antifa has some messed up actions, the way that Antifa is acting is making people feel sorry for the people who are being labeled as fascists. And they're not even necessarily fascists. Okay, Antifa they'll call someone fascist just for filming them. Okay, it's happened to me twice in Seattle. Okay, how dare I point the camera towards them? Oh no, I must be a fascist. There's tons of footage out there of Antifa acting really awfully. That sort of thing is making people look at who Antifa is against and think, well, maybe it's not that bad.
The people that are against it are making it popular. Yeah, I don't think so, Kazoom. And I know you're real sensitive-hearted and stuff. I tried to be too familiar, too collegial, like we would just be buddies and I'd be goofing on, what are you saying there about being red-pilled? But you know what? The fact of the matter is, it's ludicrous. You know who's making anti-Semitic Nazis popular? Jews are making them popular. You know why? Because the Jews act like, oh, there's something wrong with being anti-Semitic, and that makes people want to be anti-Semitic. Well, fuck those people.
The Jews never did anything that was worth rebelling against. Sorry, man, this is a stupid argument. Okay, shortly I'm going to show some footage of what Antifa are like, and then you can tell me whether that's something worth rebelling against. Okay, I am just so sick of people making it sound like the only thing Antifa stands for is anti-fascism, and that's not it. They're against anyone who stands in their way in any way, who questions anything they say, and they go crazy if someone films them. They claim it's because, oh, we don't want to be doxxed. Well, if you're not doing something that's fucked up, you're not going to have to worry about that. When's the last time you heard about Antifa members being doxxed who weren't doing anything? Have you heard about that? I sure haven't heard about that.
It's not the Jews making people want to be anti-Semitic. It's not people that are against.
It's a stupid hypothetical that doesn't match what's being talked about.
white supremacy. Let's make white supremacy popular. Why? Well, because they say white supremacy should shut up, and that makes people want to be white.
Since you're going to continue to play stupid, like many people do when the subject of Antifa gets talked about and the subject of white supremacy getting more popular gets talked about, let me give some examples of what makes people feel sorry for the people who are labeled as white supremacist and people who get labeled as fascist. Let me show you.
We didn't come to talk, we come to bang it out!
Excuse me?
We didn't come to talk, we come to bang it out! I told you! We're not here to bullshit! What? 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 What?
Everyone is shut.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
Come on! You feel me? You feel me? Come on, my nigga! Come on! Let's go! Come on! We didn't come to fucking talk! Let's come to bang it out! What the fuck you gonna do? Man, don't touch it! Do what the fuck we wanna do!
Leave an opening, leave an opening.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Go! Let's go!
You can't go home if you can't go there.
Don't touch my umbrella! Get the fuck on! Get on!
Batman ain't with racism. Batman ain't with racism. Batman ain't with racism. What you doing? Huh? You ain't no superhero. You ain't no superhero. You ain't shit. Come on! Look, come on! It's a lot of love over here. Come on! That's good. It's a lot of love over here.
Is it? Why the fuck?
Don't be filming. Don't be filming it.
Stop touching.
Why not? If you're not doing anything wrong, then you don't really have anything to worry about. The same with, filming police. Maybe we shouldn't film police either, right?
You don't got it! I see it in your fucking eyes! I see it in your eyes!
Why you hate us?
I see it in your eyes!
Why you hate us though? What's wrong with us?
I see it in your fucking eyes!
As you can see, their excuse for treating someone as if they're a fascist is, I see it in your eyes. Same sort of shit that happened to me in Seattle.
Yeah, baby! We didn't come to talk! We come to bang it out! Yeah! Gives a fuck! But why are you filming me? Yeah, I'm filming. You see what happens? You see what the fuck happens?
Words can be violent.
Yeah,
but
hold up.
We all with the love.
There's always a white person standing up
Now
for
you got a
another
problem
white
with
person.
white
Stop
people.
it,
Now you
you
got a
know
problem
better. Stop being a fucking apologist.
Hey, I need some
for your
fucking
people.
water.
Thank you.
Stop being an apologist for your fucking people.
They don't believe in that. I need some fucking water. I don't believe in
I'm
that.
not Martin Luther King.
I can't.
I look like Martin Luther King to you.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Stop touching him.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
How the fuck you with me?
No violence, man. No
How the
violence.
fuck you with me?
That's not your decision today, dear.
I'm a doctor. I work with people with
You see,
every day.
pacifists
That's
for their
not
own
your
fucking
decision
people.
today.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's a time and
Can't fucking see.
all that bullshit, honey.
For your
And what did this guy do wrong? Oh, well, he wore a checkered shirt. He wasn't wearing black.
No political affiliation. Stay the fuck out. I'm not even political. I got you. You guys are just go home. Just go home. Yeah. Like why though? What's your message? What's your message? You are in a very unsafe situation. That this man, you do not want to fuck with him. That's enough. Like nobody has Time to go, buddy! Time to go! Whoa, whoa! Get out! Get out! Get out! Just run! Go! Get out! Get out! Let him out! Yeah, I just got sprayed down here because I guess I'm not wearing a face mask and a black shirt. I just got pepper sprayed with shit or piss in the eye for not wearing a black mask.
Nobody does that.
That's it. All I did, all I did was take a picture and some guy jacked me and pepper sprayed me. This is it. This is the form of dangerous.
Leave him alone.
For a bipartisan human being, I'm a resident of the United States. These guys pepper sprayed me. Not a Nazi. I'm not even into politics. And I was assaulted.
You weren't assaulted? You weren't assaulted?
Yes, I
but
was.
death is coming, though.
I was.
Death is coming to your doorstep. Yeah. Yeah, that's the fucking message. Death is coming to your fucking doorstep.
Someone just assaulted me there.
Nobody assaulted you.
Someone just hit me in the back of the head.
I didn't see it.
Very fragile.
I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing.
Very fragile.
And then, as you can see, the guy says, hey, I've been assaulted. And no, you haven't. I didn't see anything. The same sort of shit with the Smugly Puff situation. Let me guess, you don't even know about the Smugly Puff situation. You're so well informed, through Democracy Now!, and Democracy Now!, and other sites that are similar to Democracy Now!. Because that's the real truth. Video footage isn't the real truth. That seems to be kind of your message here, and it's frustrating. How about this next guy? What did he do wrong?
All cops are bastards. ACAB. 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 All cops are bastards.
You seen that I'm against this shit?
No, I'm just
Why the fuck you over here?
I'm just like you, buddy. I'm right here in the same thing.
It doesn't seem like I can feel your fucking spirit.
No, man,
your
I'm
spirit's
not
not
against.
with us.
I'm not against.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
'Cause you don't think that I'm as American, don't you?
No,
you don't
that-
think I'm as American.
I
But my ancestors' motherfucking blood soaks the motherfucking
so did
soil.
mine, and I respect you.
You
as a
understand?
I respect you as a human being.
Don't fucking play with me, man.
No, I'm not playing
I
with
know
nobody.
your fucking spirit, dude. Go. You need to go. You need to go.
What is
go?
what is
go. Your thoughts, your energy, motherfucker. Don't.
No. Nobody wants to be a racist because people say racism is fucked up.
I never made that argument. But go ahead and keep strawmanning me.
Oh, really? Racism's fucked up? Oh, well, I'm just gonna be racist. Right. Well, I'm just gonna be the opposite of what you want, Mom. Fuck those idiots. If I say, hey, racism's fucked up, and you go, oh, really? You think it's fucked up? Well, I'm gonna be racist. Right. So I'm the reason you're racist? No. You're fucking racist. It's not because I say racism is fucked up. Yeah, when you say something is fucked up, you make the people that believe it's awesome, you make them think it's awesome, and then you make them be that way. Yeah, I don't think so, Kazoom.
My main point is that if we just ignore these stupid get-togethers, gatherings, rallies, marches from these people who are being labeled white supremacists, and some of them are white supremacists, some of them may not be, some of them are just believe that they're patriots or whatever. But, if we just ignore those marches, sometimes they've had as little as 10 people at them. I think there's been some gatherings where it's been even less than that. If you just ignore it, they don't get any publicity. They certainly don't have people feeling sorry for them because of what the Antifa's tactics are like. And it just blows over. It shouldn't be this big thing. We shouldn't turn anytime they want to have any sort of gathering into this huge rigmarole. That's what I'm trying to say. The Streisand effect is real.
You know what? If you want a sensitive, delicate understanding of your positions, then be sensitive and delicate. How about? If you're going to be all opinionated like you come across, than just accept an opinionated feedback.
Your feedback is straw manning and is stupid. Here's what I bet. I bet if I would have used the term Streisand effect, you would have made a completely different video. Because in your normal mode, you can't seem to get what someone is saying unless they use the right words. Someone tries to put something in their own words, you don't get it. You don't even attempt to try to get what they're saying. It's frustrating, man. It is. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you're at least way better than people like Christy Winters, who you can't discuss anything without using all the scholarly wording. And if you say the wrong phrase, she'll have to school you on the right phrase and the right definition, because that's the way you're supposed to talk about it. It's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she's a bad person. She's a very kind, gentle, caring person. I just don't like the way that she discusses a lot of subjects. You know, it has to be a very particular way, otherwise it's invalid. Now, so you're way better than she is in that area, but it's still frustrating. I mean, you've essentially strawmanned my entire argument, and it's annoying. It really is. And you'll go on for so long, like you did about the video games. It's just like, why are you going into all that detail about that? Well, because you either couldn't figure out what my argument actually was, or I don't know. I can't figure out why you've strawmanned me so badly here.
How about that? All you want to talk about snowflakes? You guys all seem like snowflakes to me. Every single one. The right-wingers, the left-wingers, everybody.
There are indeed snowflakes on both sides, absolutely. But when one side is acting awfully, people are going to feel sorry for the other side. Protests to every time they have a rally or a march of any kind. These counter-protests are giving them free advertising.
Right, so if somebody has a Charlottesville protest and you show up and go, "Fuck you, fascists, you're making them more popular." Well, whatever. I would say keep doing it. Keep making them popular then. You know, see where it goes. When they get really popular, see how that ends up for those motherfuckers. Look, if people are saying, stop being rude and insulting people.
This isn't about just people being rude and insultive, okay? I mean, look, if Antifa only treated people the way that they do, when they can absolutely confirm that someone actually is a fascist, you know, this probably wouldn't be so much of a problem. But the way things are going now, if someone shows any support, for instance, towards Trump, "Oh, fascist, you're a fascist." If someone films them, "Oh, you're a fascist." If someone has an argument, "Well, you're a fascist." You know, this is the shit people are being labeled fascist who aren't. And it's happening a lot. And it happens on Facebook, too. It happens at a lot of places. Labels are being dished out to people that they don't belong to. So eventually people are going to start to question, well, maybe these fascists aren't that bad. Maybe some of these people, maybe it's not the fascists that aren't that bad, but the people who are being labeled fascists aren't that bad. And they're finding that this is true.
Stop using pronouns that hurt people's feelings. That's who's making us use pronouns that hurt people's feelings. No, I don't think so.
And every time you're violent towards them, in any way, you're giving them points.
Because as everybody knows, when people are violent against you, you get points. For example, in Tulsa, when there was those Tulsa riots where the white community went and killed dozens, maybe hundreds of people in the black district where they had their own businesses and burned down the whole black downtown, they were actually helping the blacks.
I'm done with this. You know, you can watch this video and respond to it or whatever, but you are so disingenuous and strawmanning what I'm saying so much, you're not even attempting to try to do a good faith argument at all. At all. So I'm done. You know, maybe you said something valid later in your video, in your half-hour long video, but I'm not going into it. You know, let's address the things I've already addressed.